Good day, YouTubians. Purple Mentat here with my 1,000 subscriber Q&A episode. I never expected to get to 1,000 subscribers this quickly. I'm not sure I expected to get to 1,000 subscribers at all. So I figured I'd talk about me for a bit since so many people have been asking me to. I asked the audience for a bunch of questions, have collected all those questions, and will be answering as many of them as I can today. I've collated all of the like questions together, and I'm going to tackle all of those at the beginning. But before I get started, I want to send a thank you. Oh, by the way, I'm in creative mode so that I don't accidentally die as I'm floating here. I do have the ability to fly. A little bit of a preview. You should be seeing this tomorrow. So I have to send out a thank you. Unfortunately, I can't send out the thank you I want to. A very kind anonymous donor who does not wish me to disclose their name has gifted me a copy of Minecraft so that I could have Purple Mentat as my name in the game. Very happy about that. Thank you so much, anonymous donor, for putting your money into making my series better. That is fantastic. All right, so about me. Let's get started. I have a lot of people that have asked about my demographics. They want to know where I live, where I grew up, all of that sort of stuff. So let me give you a little primer. I am 31, male-ish, which is a whole nother discussion that could take its own entire video series. If you're interested in learning more about gender neutrality, do some Googling. Most of the sites should be SFW. I currently live in the Albany, New York area, which we refer to as the capital region and everyone else refers to as Albany. This is, of course, located in the United States. I am American, as some of you have asked, and I've never actually been out of the country, partially due to lack of funds, partially because I'm terrified of travel and most things. A little bit of anxiety going on. We'll get into that more later. I made it through high school and then found at the start of the 2000s that I did not have the kind of money required to go to college. And I could not get the kind of loans required to go to college because I should have had the kind of money required to go to college. It's a whole family drama thing that I'm not going to get into. So I entered the workforce and supported myself and eventually started my own business fixing computers. Well, along came the most recent big economic crash and my business went under, but having, a few years worth of computer repair experience as a small business is not good enough to get hired for anything. Moral of this story, if you can afford an education, get one. Career. Currently, I am a student slash homemaker. There's a slash in there because I don't have a lot of drive to complete the degree that I have started, and I really have a lot of drive to be a homemaker. It's part of the male-ish. I want to create a house. I want to make it pretty. I want to keep it clean. I want to make a comfortable place for my partner to come home to every day, where she can relax and be happy and not have to do anything except come home and enjoy her evening. No laundry, no dishes, none of this afternoon chore stuff. It's part of a personal philosophy that we've gotten way too focused on in America on bringing home huge paychecks and having everyone be working and successful, and it's affecting our ability to actually enjoy life. That's, again, a whole philosophical discussion that could take months to go through all of it. I grew up in a small town in what I consider central New York. New York is a fairly large state and it's extremely cliquish. If you live on the eastern edge, just about everything to the west of you is central New York. If you live on the western edge, just about everything east of you is eastern New York. If you live in the middle, everything south of you is southern tier. If you live to the south, anything north of you is upstate. I've heard people in Brooklyn refer to Yonkers as upstate. It's not. And if you live in the city, well, that's just going to get me angry because way too much of New York state tax dollars end up supporting the city and not, like, No, no, no. It's not worth getting into. It's a whole thing. In any case, I now live near Albany, New York. I grew up in the smack dab center in the sticks of New York, and that's that. Other hobbies, non Minecraft related. I play a lot of video games. I really like gaming. I play a lot of board games. Still really like gaming. I play role playing games with my friends like Dungeons and Dragons and Exalted and other White Wolf type games. I like going to movies, but pretty much my hobby life revolves around games. I think games are the next big thing in media, and we've been fans of games since ancient times, and now we have the ability to create and disseminate new and interesting ways of play. There's not enough play in most people's lives, and they end up stressing out too much because of it. And that's my personal opinion. So, how did I get introduced to Minecraft? A bunch of friends of mine were starting a small server locally, and they invited me to join them. I looked into it, I bought the game, I was hooked. I think I started with 1.1 and then was brought into 1.2 and 1.25 while still playing vanilla. How and why did I get started on YouTube? Well, the how was pretty simple. I decided I want to record. So I grabbed my headset and I bought myself a license for some recording software and I hit record and started talking. And then people liked it. I didn't like the first five, probably 5 to 10 videos. I thought they were fairly poor, but I was getting a lot of positive feedback, so I kept doing it. Why I got started is a little bit more complicated than that. So, I have some health issues that have the more mental variety. One of them is anxiety, social anxiety, especially. Like, people freak me out. I don't like them for the most part. Like, not being with them, not talking to them. But this channel's been helping me change that. I have to put myself out there. I have to talk. I have to make sense. And I can't just freak out and hide underneath something because now I feel that I've got a bit of an obligation to at least finish out this series. Spoiler, I'm going to do more than finish out this series. So it's been helping a lot with my confidence and with my social anxiety and with my general level anxiety. I've been a lot more calm since I started this series. Why YouTube specifically? Well, I have a very good friend of mine who, she goes by Laura, who helped me to deal with some of the worst of my anxieties and other issues. There's a whole discussion there. We can get into it some other time. I don't feel like talking about it now. And she was recommending that I get involved in some form of community like this so that I could deal with the anxiety better. And when I presented the idea of YouTube specifically, she was extremely supportive. She basically pushed me to do it when I probably would have talked about it and not started. So without her, I don't know that this channel would exist. And also, without her, I don't think that my life would be nearly as good as it is. So she's been a phenomenally good influence in my life in the roughly 15 months that I have known her. Let's see. Well, that got a little detailed. PC specs. I am on a Lenovo Y500 laptop. And the specs for that are right here. Let's see if I can do this. There you go. Differences between mine and the stock that you can see right there. I have a better, I have more memory, and I have 2 of the graphics cards. And no DVD read writer. So it's a pretty good for a laptop. It runs most things very well. I got it on the cheap last summer so that I could start an attempt at a college degree, which went somewhere, but not where I wanted it to. These things happen in life. And would I recommend it? If you can build a desktop, do so. You're just going to get more for your money. If you absolutely need a laptop and want a mobile gaming platform, the Lenovo Y500 will run most things fairly well, or at least most things that I cared to play fairly well. But it's less of a laptop and more of a mobile desktop. It's easy to carry around, but you have to plug the thing in if you want any real power out of it. And the battery life is like 3 hours tops. So it's pretty good. I would like to build a desktop recording system, something that's going to have a lot more power and just not have any of the frame rate issues that I experience. Recording software. I am using the XSplit, I believe it is. Yes, I'm using XSplit for my recording software. And I grabbed it because it was promoted to me by Twitch, and my original thoughts were I was going to end up streaming most of what I do on Twitch. However, I feel like everything I'm doing is better suited to a YouTube Let's Play. Maybe if I pick out like a game audition game and people want to see more of that, Twitch would be the appropriate format for something like learning to play Warlock or more One Finger Death Punch or something like that. What else did I get asked multiple times? Why Purple Mentat? Okay, so the first part, the purple, very easy. Despite not being able to see red quite properly, I can still see it. It's just, it's a complicated discussion, color blindness. Purple's my favorite color. It's pretty, and I like it. Mentat comes from the Dune universe, and long story short, Mentats are basically human computers plus. They can sift through huge reams of information and data and draw conclusions and intuitions and predictions based on all of that data. And they exist because, well, you know what? That's getting into the long story part instead of the short. So I like the idea of being someone that can sift through large amounts of data because I feel like my brain works that way. I'm not very good at data retention, but I am pretty good at information processing. And I feel like as a culture, we're moving away from data retention. You're no longer required to know, 150,000 different things because Google knows them for you. However, you do need to know how to acquire that information and how to apply that information. And those, I feel, are better qualities to pursue than being an encyclopedic resource of inane trivia. I am also an encyclopedic resource of inane trivia, but I don't really ever remember anything useful or important. Like I said, I have Google to do that for me. People want to know why I started with Agrarian Skies instead of any other mod pack. Well, I was inspired by Agrarian Skies. I felt that this game pack brought a lot to the table. I got involved with it while it was still in the private pack code beta stage, and it was fantastic. Like, I couldn't stop playing it. I probably restarted my world 5 times with all of the updates and getting overridden and just starving to death, and then I restarted one final time to start this series. It's just a lot of fun. I felt like it was going to be a big thing, and then it was. It went huge. It's got a ton of community support, and this isn't a game pack that's made just by one person anymore. Jaded Cat did the bulk of the work for the configs and everything, and she absolutely deserves to be credited every episode the way I do. But this is a community involvement pack. Mod developers have made bug fix updates and added features to make this pack work. Hardcore questing mode, I feel like it was basically created for this pack. I mean, this is definitely the flagship pack for it, and I have not been made aware of any other mod packs or maps that feature it as heavily as Agrarian Skies does. Even the forum community has come together and helped out, and it's huge. It seemed like it was going to be such a big thing. I was really, really happy to be playing it. I love the series. I love everything about the way this is balanced and set up. So, Agrarian Skies inspired me. That's why Agrarian Skies. Folks would like to know about my plans after Agrarian Skies. Well, I'm going to do more Minecraft, and I'm going to try to expand out of Minecraft into other gaming spaces. However, I'm fairly good at the Minecraft stuff. I enjoy it a lot, so I'm not going to be pushing too hard to expand out of Minecraft. There will always be Minecraft on this channel. That will never not happen unless the game becomes unpopular. I don't see that happening though, because it seems to only become more popular over time as they add new features and newer and cooler mods come out. So at the end of this series, once I get started with the end quests, I am going to be asking the audience, what mod pack should I investigate next? And I'm going to have a poll in which I will set up 3 or 4 mod packs that I have pre-approved as this is something I would like to play, and ask you guys, what should I focus on as my primary series? And honestly, one of those options might be play Agrarian Skies again, but do it differently, because there are a lot of things I could have done differently, and I chose the options I did based on just that was the way I did it. I could think of probably 2 or 3 alternatives to every single choice that I have made in terms of how to complete quests and progress the map. So if you guys would like to see some of the other options, that will be one of the poll options. I might end up doing more than one series when Agrarian Skies ends. I'm hoping I will have the experience to make that happen. Continuing on, people would like to know if I would like to play with the subscribers. I absolutely would. The problem is I have over 1,000 subscribers at this point, and Minecraft servers are simply not made to support that kind of populace. In fact, I can't think of any game that is designed to support that sort of populace short of an MMO. And as much fun as I've had with MMOs over the years, I'm kind of past those days. So I would love to play with you guys. I'm not sure how to make it happen. Now, as for the idea of having a subscriber on the channel, it's a possibility, but it might be a little bit difficult because of scheduling, because of making things work with the recording, because I take a lot of jump cuts, and honestly, sometimes it takes me, 3 or 4 hours to get to all of the content that I'm going to put back into a 30-minute episode. I would need a significant portion of someone's day to be able to feature them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll run a subscriber contest and have one of you on the series to kind of tour things and tell me what you think. It depends. There's a lot that goes into it. If you guys do decide to organize yourselves and create a, Purple Mentat community server, I would absolutely be thrilled to know about it. I will pop in. I will do some play there. What I would love is to be able to do some testing there on things that I will end up using other places. I can't guarantee I'd have a lot of time to spend playing there, though. Most of my time playing games in the past month has been setting things up for YouTube, or, basically has been focused on recording, because you guys are really enjoying it, so I want to put out more content. Would I collaborate with other YouTubers? Yes, conditionally. It would depend a lot on if we mesh personality-wise, if we can make our schedules work together, if we can actually benefit each other. I mean, there are certain people that I would absolutely never say no to. If Direwolf20 or Generic B or some other, multiple 100,000 subscriber Minecraft YouTuber came to me and said, hey, I want to, do a joint thing with you, it would be silly of me to turn them down. I can't imagine any reason that I could come up with to do that. It's just the benefits to my channel would be far too great. I would get, I bet I would get at least 10,000 people to come and look at that one video, and even if 10% of them stuck around, that would be amazing. But the thing is, I would also want to be able to benefit the person I'm collaborating with. And right now, I mean, I have a strong audience, but I'm still very new. And I feel like I would be detrimental to any big name that would want to help me out. So it would be a very one-sided relationship. They would be supporting my channel. As far as collaborating with someone of equal viewership, as I said, it depends entirely on if personalities mesh and if we can manage the scheduling and recording style, and there's a lot of things that are, potentially difficult. I'd love to play this game co-op sometime. Agrarian Skies, I mean, not Minecraft. The party mode features seem like a lot of fun. It's just a difficult proposition. I would need to find the right person to play with. So that covers all of the group questions, everything that I was asked by multiple people. I'm now going to get into the questions that I was asked by a single person, and these are in no particular order. They're simply how I copy pasted them into the document. Eric Miner 22 asks, do you play Pokemon, and if so, what's your favorites? I used to play Pokemon. I played Pokemon Red back in the day. I currently own a copy of Pokemon Y, I think, and I even have a special DS to go with it, but I've put maybe 5 hours into it because Minecraft. I love Pokemon as a concept. I used to play a heck of a lot of it. I actually gathered all 152, I think. I collected Mew from a Nintendo representative back in the day of the original Game Boy, when the only way to get Mew was to trade with a Nintendo representative. It was the rarest Pokemon available during the Game Boy days. My absolute favorite Pokemon is probably Charmander, because he was my original starting Pokemon, and he took me far. Fred Bobbington asks, do you know any kind of computer... do you do any kind of computer programming or modding? I do not mod. I don't directly program if I can avoid it. I'm terrible at it. I'm bad at languages, and it translates over into programming languages. I can think logically easily enough, and, you know, that's one of the key components necessary to be able to do any sort of coding. But I'm just bad at coding, so I don't force myself into doing things that I'm bad at. Mega Mario 99 asks, how are you so good at making awesome videos? Well, he actually had 3 other questions, but all of them were covered in the group questions area. One, I don't think my videos are quite awesome yet, but thank you very much for the compliment. 2, all of my apparent skill in creating videos is really just a lot of research. I spent probably 3 weeks reading everything I could about how to make a decent Let's Play, and watching other YouTubers and what they did so that I could improve my videos. And then other than that, it's just been practice. I've learned a lot in 30 episodes. An amazing amount, actually. Now we're into a whole group of questions from Jonathan McApple. First of all, Jonathan asked, did I expect the coming of 1,000 subscribers in your channel? Nope, not at all. Jonathan asks, what's Mentat? I answered that in brief. If you want more detail, you're going to have to go read the Dune novels, particularly the Butlerian Jihad trilogy. Will help you out a lot. Wow, this has been running a while. It does not like what I've done to it. Jonathan also asked, are you just going to make us pick what game to pick in the auditions, or you have one already planned? I'm not done with the game auditions before I put the poll out and ask people to say, hey, let's play this. I'm going to do at least 3 or 4 more. Are you going to finish the series by completing all the quests, or do you have your own goal, and if so, what is it? I have some goals that are outside of the quests. I'm not going to tell you them. You're going to have to watch and find out. Let's see if that helped any. Nope, world restart never does. It's always the client restart. What else we got? Completing all the quests. I'm going to complete every quest in the first 8 categories. I may or may not do the bragging rights quests. And if any new quests are added, I will go back and complete them, as I have with every Learning to Skyblock quest that's been added. By whom were you inspired to start YouTubing? The list is huge. The Vlog Brothers, Hank Green and John Green. Direwolf 20, definitely. Total Biscuit, Angry Joe, Aiko the Builder, Bevo. Those are the names that jump to mind right away. But definitely top of the list is Jaded Cat. I would not have created this series without her. And also, my partner, who goes by Apollo Cat, I would not be able to create this series if it weren't for the fact that she is willing to support me doing this. And my best friend Laura, who was instrumental in me coming up with the, desire to do this, the ability to do this, and just, I owe a lot of people a lot of thanks and a lot of gratitude. I have many inspiring females in my life, and I am very thankful for that. What has been my favorite episode so far? Probably... I don't really have favorite episodes. I have favorite builds. The Big Reactor and Laser Drill were some of my favorite builds. The Blood Altar and that mysterious Netherbrick building over there, two more of my favorite builds that you won't see until, well, you won't see completed in that detail until Monday. The original Monster Tower that I eventually tore down and replaced with the Grinders, that was definitely a very big build for me. I loved that one. And it was actually kind of an inspiration to get started, was to create that Monster Tower and show it on screen. Because I knew that a lot of people kept complaining about how hard it was to get Ender Pearls. I figured, hey, let me show you a great way to get lots of Ender Pearls easily. Am I going to make other items in Thaumcraft and actually unlock everything? Well, judging by my current progress in Eurowizard, Steve, yes. Yes, I am. What's your most favorite mod in Minecraft? I don't have a single most favorite mod. I love Thermal Expansion, I love Thaumcraft, I love a lot of the Thaumcraft add-ons. Extra utilities and open blocks are phenomenal. I have a new appreciation for Minefactory Reloaded after playing Agrarian Skies. Forestry was one of the firsts and will always hold a dear place in my heart. Blood Magic, way up there. Ars Magica too. I'm a big fan of magic mods. Twilight Forest. I love Twilight Forest. Want to play more Twilight Forest. This one is going to related to an earlier question. Will I be doing a vanilla Minecraft series? Maybe, if there's demand for it. I don't feel that my content is particularly strongly suited for vanilla, because getting into this level of detail on vanilla mechanics, I feel like I would run out of things I could show off in 20 or 30 episodes, unless I start getting into some really wacky stuff. And at that point, you're doing strange and weird things to the mechanics just to do strange and weird things to the mechanics, and I have no desire to do that. Am I going to continue and enlarge my farm? I don't know. I mean, this covers all of the quests in one little farm. I could expand it and maybe start making lots and lots of other foods, but I already have access to the best foods in the game, and I can complete all of the quests with the farms that I have. So I don't see a whole lot of purpose to it. Am I ever going to use another Tinker's Construct tool? Yes. Probably not in this series, though. And finally, is it okay that I've asked so many questions? Absolutely. No problem at all. IDMB1966 asks, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I would imagine sitting in a computer chair playing some video games. I don't think I'll ever stop gaming. If I'm lucky, I will still be with my current partner, ApolloCat, because we seem to be very good for each other, and it seems to be a very healthy relationship so far. I mean, realistically, I have no idea what's going to happen in 10 years. If I've learned anything over the past 10 years, it's that life throws so many curveballs at you that it's impossible to guess exactly where you're going to end up. If I talk about hopes and dreams, with the success of the channel so far, maybe I'll be a full-time YouTuber in 10 years. Who knows? I feel like it could go anywhere. Jimmy Bob John asks, what is your favorite food and what is your favorite thing to do when not recording at all, like movies, hanging with friends, or just playing other games? My favorite food. Do I have to pick just one? I like food. I like food a lot. I like food too much. I'm carrying around a lot of extra food with me all the time. That's a fat joke. So, though if I had to choose just one favorite food, probably pizza. I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty classic. It comes in so many different forms and varieties, you can do so much with it. Also, you know, I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so pizza was kind of the god food. Favorite thing to do when not recording? I like going to movies, I like hanging out with friends, I like playing other video games. I've been playing more Warlock 2, The Exiled. I would like to... Oh, Kingdom Hearts. That's one of my favorite games that I would never show on a Let's Play because it would be pointless. There's no real decision making. You just do the same thing no matter how you play the game. And most of the content is story driven. So I'd probably end up getting, you know, copyright claimed out of existence if I put something like that up there. Finally, what is your favorite not video game hobby? My favorite not video game hobby is probably tabletop gaming, but I feel like that's not what you're asking. I mean, board games and role-playing and such. my favorite not gaming hobby, it's probably movies, I guess. Movies, reading. The two kind of fall into the same place for me. Someone else is entertaining me instead of me doing, interactive entertainment with the person who's created the game. So it has to be the right kind of movie or the right kind of book. Not necessarily very good. I like trashy fantasy, but it's got to be the right kind. Pascal Van Rattingen asks, my only question is how you got less than 1 million subscribers. You make excellent gameplay guides and entertainment. You deserve more, a lot more. Well, thank you very much. I have less than 1 million because I don't know of any Minecraft YouTuber out there that has over 1 million subscribers, for one. And for two, I've only been at this a month. Word is still getting out. Though, if you want me to have more subscribers, tell people. Tell your friends. Get me out there on social media. Talk me up on the forums and on Reddit. Those are the sort of word of mouth things that really bring in the views. And yes, it's relying on you guys, but if I go and promote myself like that, then I get laughed off the internet. Whereas if you guys come and tell people about it, people get excited. Hey, look, there's this cool thing that I'm being told about by this guy. It helps. X Lemons asks a potentially sensitive question. What religion do you follow, if any? I don't follow a religion. I consider myself an agnostic. I am spiritual. I believe that there are supernatural beings out there of some form or another, and I like to believe and to hope that there are supernatural beings that are of greater goodness and power than the average of humanity. He also asks, what are my thoughts on Muslims and Islam in general? Well, I feel like that's, almost a little bit of a trolley question, but honestly, I feel that Muslims and Christians are in the exact same place as far as they are viewed in American culture. A small group of extremists is making life hell for them. For the Muslims, it is the jihadists and the Taliban and such, and for the Christians, it is the Westboro Baptist Church and the, extremely anti same-gender marriage people that get really, really, really violently vigilant about trying to push their agenda on the entirety of the populace. So basically, I think that Muslim and Islam are too broad of labels to apply to a group to form a general opinion of them. And I feel that there are a lot of individuals who don't fall under, who can't be grouped together in the same label. And I feel that there is an extremely negative opinion towards them in American culture because of the act of an extremely small percentage, like less than 1% of the Muslims in the world. The Tobywan asks, what keyboard and mouse do I use? My mouse is an $8 Logitech M100 mouse because it was cheap and I needed a mouse right then, and it works good enough for everything that I do. The keyboard I am currently using is a Logitech G710 Plus. It's a mechanical keyboard with a whole bunch of programmable macro buttons on it, and it's kind of nice, but it also belongs to my partner. I need to get my own keyboard sometime soon. I had just been using the keyboard included in the laptop, but now I want to be sitting a little bit further away from the fans in the laptop. Also asks, do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I do. Which is probably obvious from all the talking I've been doing about my partner. May Ellen O'Grady asks, my question is, do you have any favorite animals? If so, what are your favorite pet, domestic, and wild animals? Favorite animal? Well, yes, I have favorite animals. My favorite pet, cats. Or chinchillas. Maybe chinchillas. They're so cute. But cats are great because they're independent, and I can pay attention to them when I want to and not pay attention to them when I don't want to, and they feel the same way about me. Wild animals, there's a lot of really cute things in the world that I like looking at, but for the most part, I want wild animals to stay out in the wild while I stay in the city and everything will be okay. I realize that this is actually a fairly environmentally destructive attitude, but I don't have a favorite wild animal. Domesticated animal, probably cows, because they're delicious and they provide delicious milk. And I like leather. I love the feel of it. I love the smell of it. And we use every single part of a cow for something useful when we raise it, slaughter it, and use its bits, which is fantastic. It's nice that we don't, generate huge heaps of landfill waste from one of the primary food animals of the U.S. Crumbology asks, what one mod would you have liked added to Agrarian Skies? That's a difficult one. I can't think of a mod that could be added that wouldn't throw things off. I can think of aspects of certain mods that would be nice to have. For example, facades from Buildcraft, so that I could put them directly on the Applied Energistics cables, but it's not a necessity. Like, that's not needed. One mod to add to Agrarian Skies. Maybe... No, I can't think of anything that would fit the theme that is not already included, that would not drastically change the way the game is played. I mean, Ars Magica 2 would be cool, but would drastically change the way the game is played, because you would be able to have flight and healing and food restoring powers fairly early on for fairly low effort. Twilight Forest or the Erebus or any of the other dimensional mods could be cool, but Jaded went out of her way to disable the 1 or 2 dimensions that were included in this mod pack and force you to only have the overworld and the nether. I assume she did that for a reason. One of the other tech mods, like Ender IO, could be cool. I mean, Ender IO is great just to be able to put multiple pipes and power lines and fluid lines and such in the same block, but it would very much change the way the balance of the map is set, considering everything is built on thermal expansion in this map. So, what one mod would I have liked added? I can't say. I'm sorry. Andrew Zeng asks, do you like cheesecake? Yes, I like good cheesecake. I don't know what is good cheesecake, but I know what I like, and that's good cheesecake. That doesn't help you at all, but yes. Crazy Killer 982 asks, what were you thinking was going to happen with this channel after you uploaded your first video? And then rephrases to ask, did I think that I was going to eventually give up or keep going if I didn't get so many subs? Well, I planned on playing through and doing a Let's Play, whether people were watching or not, until the license that I purchased for the recording software ran out. And then deciding at that point, hey, I made this much, the software cost me this much, is this a hobby that's worth continuing? Things have gone a bit differently than I expected. Let's put it that way. When I put my first video up, I thought that it was awful and that no one was going to want to watch me bumble around and make a fool of myself. Joseph Miller asks, have I ever heard of Hermitcraft? I've heard of it, but only tangentially. Like, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I know that it's a server full of YouTubers, much like the Minecraft people, correct? If so, would you consider joining them? I don't know. I haven't talked to them. I don't know what they're like. I haven't watched their series. So maybe, I mean, playing on a modded server with a bunch of other YouTubers could be pretty cool. And then he goes on to say that he really enjoys all of their videos and thinks that I would fit in well with them, and then recommends a few Hermitcraft people in particular. His favorites being Hypnotized, Slipgator, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's all Leet speak. And XIS Umavoid. Yeah, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. That's like part of the reason I chose the Purple Mentat name, was it was something that you could say easily. I had another screen name. You saw it, Heffron CM. But I just... Why not use something that you can easily say and easily remember? It makes more sense to me. Gaming Doll asks, do you play FPS games? I do. Well, I used to. I used to play a lot of Aliens vs. Predator, the first one, when it was good. I don't really play them anymore, not by choice. I have Spec Ops: The Line that's been sitting in my Steam library for a while that I want to play because it's supposed to subvert a lot of the modern Battlefield, Call of Duty stuff. I'm not a fan of Battlefield. I'm not a fan of Call of Duty. The last FPS that I really enjoyed a lot was Halo 2 on the Xbox. Max Remis asks, top 5 favorite and least favorite games. Well, I don't really have least favorite games. They're either good enough for me to want to play again or not. My 5 favorite games, boy, that's a tough one. Minecraft, definitely. Kingdom Hearts, like all of it. I love everything about Kingdom Hearts. So I could easily fill out the rest of the list with like Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. But I won't do that. That's cheating. Diablo. I love Diablo. Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls with the new Loot 2.0. A lot of fun. Other favorites. Civilization 5, at least now that it has the expansions, is amazing. As far as the 5th favorite game, I don't have a good one. I don't have one that I can recommend. If I pull up my Steam, I can take a look at hours played. Maybe that will be a good indicator of a 5th favorite. But I'm pretty sure that, what do you call it? Civ 5 is going to be the top end of things. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a good 5th favorite to offer at all. Sorry. Moving on. What is my opinion on free-to-play games and microtransactions? I think free-to-play can be done well, and of course it must be supported by some form of monetization or it's pointless. Microtransactions is the obvious choice for that. I just feel that if you have a game that you want to be focused on the gameplay, your microtransactions cannot offer mechanical advantages. They have to be cosmetic in nature. For example, Riot has it very right with League of Legends. Also, you could gate content based on microtransactions. For example, you can play the first half of the game for free, but the next half you have to pay $40 for. I'd be okay with that. It's not really a microtransaction, but you know, it works. I believe Path of Exile does something similar in that they are free to play, but I think that they sell experience boosters and such. I don't remember. I'd have to look into it. But basically, yeah, microtransactions, I'm only okay with them if they're cosmetic only. How did I hear about Minecraft? Friends invited me in. My first experience with modded Minecraft, forestry. I hate farming trees. I despise cutting down trees by hand, so I went and I found a mod that would do it better. But I didn't like Treecapitator because there was basically no effort and all reward. Forestry required me to invest something to get the greater capabilities, which is kind of how I judge whether a mod is a good addition to my style of play. Is the amount of investment I need to make in terms of time and such on the mod worth the benefits that I get out of it? And for the most part, they are. But mods like Treecapitator, while they're really, really nice, they don't actually fit into my idea of what's fun. Okay. Who's next? Minecraft Master 559 asks, what is your favorite game series that is still being played today? I'm not sure what you mean by game series. Do you mean YouTube game series? If you mean like series of video games with lots of sequels and such, toss up between Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. I'm a sucker for the classic JRPGs. I loved Final Fantasy 13. Caroline Cupcake from Twitter asks, how did you discover your interest in games and gaming? So I started playing games when I was 4 or 5. I loved board games as a kid. I played the heck out of Monopoly, and the more complicated the board game, the more complex, the more I enjoyed it. So Monopoly and Risk and Clue were some of my favorite board games as a kid. I liked the game of life. Once I got introduced to Dungeons and Dragons around age I don't remember, 12. It was all downhill from there. Maybe earlier than that, actually. Maybe 9. As for video games, I had a Nintendo Entertainment System the year after they came out, and I loved them. I was bad at games back then. I'm still not very good at games. I can learn the games and learn the mechanics, but I'm just not skilled at gaming. Like, I will never be a speedrunner on a platforming game. It's just not my thing. And we now have a string of questions from Ryan Dahmer sent in by email. I have, if you have read Dune, have you read The White Plague? No, I'm sorry, I have not. Most of his questions were answered already earlier. Are you planning to be a Minecraft channel primarily, or you switch between genres as your main videos, or will you do sub-series? I don't have long-term plans like that. The longest-term plan I have is find another game that people want to watch and finish Agrarian Skies and start another Minecraft series. Do you have plans to upgrade your setup, such as getting a server, buying new, good condition equipment? Yes. I've already made one significant upgrade by getting this microphone, and it's helped my audio quality significantly if you compare this video to my original. Do you have any, will you do live streaming on Twitch or any site like it? Maybe, if I find the right game for it that fits my style. What is your favorite place to eat at, and what do you like to eat from it? Favorite restaurant? Peaches. Peaches Cafe in Stuyvesant Plaza in Albany. All of the food there is good. I love their breakfast, I love their lunch, I love their dinner, and I love their coffee. It is so good. They make the amazing lattes, amazing espresso-based drinks. Very happy with Peaches. And their desserts are to die for. So, what's next? As your channels grow, will you stop reading the comments like some of the big YouTubers do? I'm going to try to continue some level of community interaction. I definitely will not be able to maintain answering every single comment personally. Most likely, I would keep myself to an hour or two of comments a day, tops, and I would only really be able to justify that. If the channel gets so large that I can't keep on top of all of the comments, then I'm going to schedule myself this is how much time you can spend on comics a day, because at that point, this will be paying as much as a part-time or even a full-time job, and I will have no reason not to make that a part of my workday, as it were. If you can't get to all the comments, could you set up a Gmail email account to answer questions or comments that are strictly for constructive criticism, or will you just use the one that you have now? I probably won't set up another Gmail account for this. I'm not certain exactly what form my future community interaction plans will take. They will continue. I enjoy talking. I enjoy answering questions. I enjoy interacting with the viewers. It's one of my favorite parts of this whole process so far. That and the actual recording. Editing, not so much. If I could find someone to do all of my editing for me, I would absolutely love to do that. So, that brings us to the end of the Q&A. I have answered every single question that I received between the time I put up the AMA video and the time that I hit 1,000 subs. It didn't take very long. If you guys would like, will do future Q&A videos. Wow, left Minecraft running too long. Everything is choppy now. So, if you enjoy the Q&A videos, let me know in the comments below, and I will do another one sometime. It won't be anytime soon. As far as another you've hit X number of subscribers special, I figured 2,000 is a good number to shoot for. Why not double the subscriber count, and then I'll do some other special. And if I start approaching 2,000, I'll certainly ask the audience, hey guys, what would you like to see as a special? So yeah, let me know what you thought of my little Q&A. Next time, hopefully I'll have something more interesting to put behind it. I just caught a little bit by surprise on how fast I went from, hey guys, ask me anything, I'm getting close to 1,000, and I've hit 1,000. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. See you next time.